Hey there! So today we are jumping into Study Session 1, Lesson 1, and we're going to tackle the CAPS document for mathematics. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A curriculum document sounds kind of dry, right? But stick with me, because we're going to look at it in a totally different way. Forget the rulebook. I want you to start thinking of this as your personal blueprint for building amazing young mathematicians.
So, that really gets us to the heart of it all, doesn't it? It's the big question on every teacher's mind. How do we actually build students who are confident, capable, and genuinely curious about math? Seriously, where do you even start?
Well, just like with any big, important building project, it all starts with a really solid plan, a blueprint. And for us, in the classroom, that blueprint is the Curriculum and Assessment Policy Statement. Yeah, CAPS for short. It's not there to tie your hands. It's there to empower you. It's the guide that helps you build something incredible.
Okay, so let's crack this thing open. First up, we're going to look at the big picture. Before you start laying any bricks or pouring concrete, you have to understand the architect's vision, right? What's the whole point of this building? What is the grand design for math in the foundation phase?
So, the blueprint gives us three main goals, or specific aims. First, it's about helping learners see how math ideas connect to each other. Second, it's about taking that knowledge and actually using it to solve problems. And third, it's about using math as a tool to explore the world. See? These are the foundational pillars of everything else we're going to build.
All right, so with that vision in mind, let's head over to the drawing board. Section 2 is where we look at the 5 core components of our blueprint. You can think of these like the different rooms in the house we're building. Each one has its own special purpose.
Whoa, okay, now this chart tells a story all by itself, doesn't it? Just look at that huge 60% slice for numbers, operations, and relationships. I mean, it's impossible to miss. The blueprint is practically shouting at us that a deep, rock-solid understanding of number sense is the main load-bearing wall for all of foundation phase math. It's that important.
So, that leads to a really important question. You gotta ask why. Why such a massive focus on this one area? What makes it so critical?
And here's the data to back it up. The blueprint dedicates almost 60% of our time here for a very simple reason. Everything else depends on it. You can't put up walls or install windows or build a roof if your foundation is shaky. And that's exactly what number sense is. It's the foundation. The blueprint is telling us precisely where to put most of our energy to make sure the whole structure is strong.
Okay, so we've got the vision, we've seen the plans, now it's time to put on our hard hats and head to the construction sites, your daily classroom. How does this blueprint actually guide what we do, day in and day out? This is where it all becomes real.
The blueprint lays out a really clear 3-part flow. You kick things off with the whole class to get everyone's brains warmed up. We're talking counting, mental math, that kind of thing. Then comes the real magic. You pull a small group for some super focused hands-on teaching. This is your chance to really see who's getting it. And while you're doing that, the rest of the class is working on their own, on tasks you've set up to build their skills. It's a really smart, dynamic system.
And if you're wondering why it's set up that way, this quote from the document itself just nails it. It's all about learning by doing. We want kids who are active, doing the math, talking about how they figured it out, and writing down their ideas. That's how we get them from just memorizing steps to actually understanding math. Of course, you would never finish a building project without checking your work along the way, right? That's where quality control comes in. So for Section 4, we're talking about assessment. How does our blueprint tell us to inspect our work and make sure the structure we're building is actually sound?
The blueprint gives us 2 main types of quality checks. First, you've got your formal assessments. Those are the planned, scheduled tasks that you record. But just as important is the informal kind. This is like you, the builder, walking the construction site every single day, listening, watching, and figuring out what needs to happen next.
So let's be super clear here. Informal assessment is not a test. It's your diagnostic tool. It's you, the expert, tapping the walls and checking the joints every single day. This is what lets you adjust your plans on the fly and meet your learners exactly where they are. It's your secret weapon.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together. We've talked about the big picture, the main parts, the daily workflow, and the quality checks. So what's the big takeaway here? How do we make this blueprint come alive in our classrooms? I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. Forget some intimidating 100-page manual. Just think of the CAPS document as your ultimate to-do list. It's not something you read once and put on a shelf. It's a living, breathing tool you use every single day to build those incredible young math minds.
And this, right here,
might be the most powerful idea of all. A blueprint shows you what to build, but it doesn't tell you exactly how to swing the hammer. The CAPS document gives you the structure, the priorities, and the end goals, but it counts on your professional judgment, your creativity to actually bring it to life. It's a flexible guide, not a rigid script. You're the master builder.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you see the CAPS document not as a rulebook, but as your own practical, flexible blueprint, how are you going to use it to build your next great math lesson?